Luis King Kong Ortiz says he has zero respect for Anthony Joshua and admits that Joshua avoided him in the past. Stay tuned. Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Big up to the channel members. Wilder Fury Fight Week. It's going to be a good one. Staples Center. Make sure you order the pay-per-view, Showtime pay-per-view. And on the undercard is Luis Ortiz. He spoke with Lim Satterfield, who is a writer with PBC. And Luis Ortiz says he don't respect Joshua. You know, and I'm going to get into his direct quotes and give him some of my thoughts. Luis Ortiz says, and I quote, "Anthony Joshua is one of the best or he wouldn't have a belt. But not stopping Joseph Parker didn't look so good for him." He continued to say, "I think it's just that I pack more power than Klitschko." And he was talking kind of about Joshua's fight with Klitschko versus his title fight with Deontay Wilder. He says, "When they stopped Joshua's fight with Vladimir Klitschko on the 10th, it wasn't even close to the beating I was giving Deontay Wilder. Carlos Takam gave Joshua some trouble." And he says, "I'm not saying that they should have stopped my fight with Wilder, but I'm saying that if they had let Klitschko go on, who knows if Joshua and what he had in the tank." He talks about the Kaufman. He says, "As far as Kaufman, who knows? I might get him out of there in one round. That depends on how I'm feeling. I might be angry. I might want to box that night." Speaking of Joshua, he goes on to say, "I haven't thought about Anthony Joshua since he avoided me a while back, but it's a fight where you would see me enjoy beating the piss out of him for several rounds. I see myself breaking down Anthony Joshua to the body and ripping his head off with right hooks and straight lefts over the course of 8 rounds. But at least Deontay Wilder put his money where his mouth is, stepped up, and he fought me. I've got zero respect for Anthony Joshua, who at this point is a complete punk hiding behind his puppeteer promoter, Eddie Hearn." Right? He says, you know, despite the rumors that he's older than 39, he said he ain't looking for a retirement. He said, "I could be 50 and still beat these guys. They ain't better than me. As long as I'm healthy and God permits me to, I'll keep doing this. It's what makes me feel young and puts a smile on my face each morning." End quote. Listen, Luis Ortiz, he's going ham on Anthony Joshua in every interview. And yet again, we haven't seen Anthony Joshua respond to another heavyweight, you know, good fighter. You know, people, they can try their damnedest to say, "Oh, Joshua, he's not much of a trash talker, and that's not how he's a professional. He's a consummate professional. That's not how he handles business." Well, it should be how he handles business. Listen, I understand not everyone's going to trash talk, but that doesn't mean you don't have to respond in any form, facet, or fashion to other contemporaries that people want to see you fight in your division. Now, again, I understand boxing. If you're this A-side, massive, popular fighter, you know, you're going to have a lot of people who are targeting you. If a guy's like 1-0 or something heavyweight and he's trying to clout chase you, that's one thing. But, you know, Deontay Wilder is speaking, calling Joshua a coward. Tyson Fury said pretty much the same. "A message to the weightlifter." He was saying that Anthony Joshua doesn't want to fight Wilder. That's why I have to step up and do it for the UK, because Eddie Hearn knows that Joshua will get sparked out and knocked out versus Wilder, etc. Now Luis Ortiz, he keeps calling Joshua a chicken, saying "I have no respect," and yet and still we see Joshua doing karaoke to Beanie Man and you know, not really responding to any of these things. Don't think that's the best look. Wilder versus Fury is this weekend. Joshua already said that he's not even going to the fight, yet he's claiming he wants to fight Wilder more. Not, you know, he doesn't want it any other fight but that fight, but he's not even going to the fight. Not only did Joshua say that, but he also said he on top of not going to the fight because, you know, he has to go to bed, he said he's not watching the fight, you know. So, you know, those things aren't a good look. Again, I could dig it. You don't want to engage in, you know, a bunch of back and forth and trash talk, but you got everybody of important, like, you know, the best fighters in the division outside of himself, Joshua. And, you know, there's a lot of, like, you know, Ajagbas and Daniel Dubois and Tony Yokas and Joe Joyce, you know, guys coming up. But outside of them, you know, everybody who is pretty established in the division, considered top guys, are calling him out. Like even Dillian White, you know, that's his countryman, but they have a beef, so occasionally he'll take a jab. But when it's Joshua, if Dillian White's talking about Joshua versus Wilder or something like that, then he'll show love to more so to his countrymen. But, you know, everyone else from Tyson Fury to Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz, they're all like targeting Joshua. And I think that's not necessarily a good look to have, you know, people calling you a chicken. Wilder's claiming, hey, you ducked me. Joshua's a coward. And Luis Ortiz is saying he's a chicken. He avoided me in the past when I was his mandatory. I have no respect for him. His promoter, which is Luis Ortiz's former promoter too, at least for a couple of fights. Eddie Hearn is his puppeteer. You know, these aren't good things. I think Joshua should respond to somebody. You know, you can't just, like, I can understand if someone's not on your level in no way, shape, or fashion, but these are all really good fights for Joshua. So, you know, it's not a good look over there with Matchroom and DAZN, Matchroom, or whatever you want to call it, when it comes to this, because it's going to be very obvious what's going on when you have Wilder Fury happening. You know, Luis Ortiz is saying this, and those guys don't get the proper, you know, responses. They get no response, in fact, from Anthony Joshua, but maybe he goes to fight Dillian White, Derek Chisora winner. Like, how does that work when these are good fights too, and, you know, probably more meaningful fights in general? Like, I would love to see Luis King Kong Ortiz versus AJ, just because we have a good barometer, because he did really well versus Deontay Wilder. So I want to see how, you know, two technical guys, one southpaw, one orthodox, how they fare. You know, Wilder showed, to me, huge might and grit, buckling down and biting down when Luis Ortiz rallied back and caught him with some good shots in round 7. So I want to see how, if Joshua would, 1, be in that position with Luis Ortiz, and 2, how he would weather that storm. Like, would he do the same like Wilder and come back and turn things all around, or, you know, would he lose? You know, these are good. It's a good fight, and this is a fight that couldn't happen. I never hear Anthony Joshua even mention King Kong Ortiz. You know, he gets asked about Wilder and Fury, and sometimes he'll engage, but a lot of times he just, you know, it seems like he's more content talking about Usyk. Like, they'll ask him about Usyk moving up, and he'll go in depth and stuff. He don't mind talking about Usyk moving up. But then you ask him about Deontay Wilder or Luis Ortiz, you don't really hear much of a response at all. So, you know, it's kind of weird there. And, you know, with Wilder going in, even on reporters, you know, saying the 400 years, those are your people too, to this day, you know, and screaming on reporters to make his point and let the pain out and let the pain be felt of what he's talking about. I think that's more of a telltale sign to why Joshua didn't want to let Wilder in the ring. You can't control a guy like that. You know, like, he's going to speak his mind. What are you going to do? Say, no, leave, get out of my ring. You know, what are you going to do to him? So I think Joshua didn't want to run the risk of getting confronted in public view and getting pressured, and, you know, having people even have the opportunity to judge the confrontation, you know, and say, oh, damn, you let Wilder punk you, or you let, you know, that's why he's not going to the fight. That's why he's not letting Wilder in the ring and stuff like that, because, like I said, Wilder can't be contained and he can't be controlled. You know, he's going to speak his mind, and that's a dangerous person, especially when he has that type of power. Now, if he wasn't such a powerful guy, such a strong guy, like physically, then, you know, you're not going to let him talk whatever, you know, you be like, hey, yeah, you gotta chill. But, you know, people know Wilder is dangerous. And, you know, same thing with Luis Ortiz. So that's the latest. Luis Ortiz says he has zero respect for Anthony Joshua, and he credits Deontay Wilder because he at least put his money where his mouth is and stepped up and fought him, and he stopped him, you know. So I'm sick of seeing fans talk about Wilder needs to rematch Luis Ortiz. I know Luis Ortiz is pushing for that rematch, but some of these other guys got to fight Luis Ortiz too. You know, the Dillian Whites, the Anthony Joshua. Spread the love. Wilder took the Luis Ortiz challenge when he was undefeated, you know, and he knocked him off his pivot. He's since bounced back with the win over Raz Kajanu, and he's about to fight Travis Kaufman, who, you know, he should beat, I would imagine. And, you know, let these other guys, Gerald Big Baby Miller, the AJs of the world, Dillian White, Joe Joy, you know, spread the love. Let them get a shot at Luis Ortiz. And Luis Ortiz climbed back up to get a title shot with the guy that already beat him, you know. But instead, people want to see Wilder fight Luis Ortiz because Luis Ortiz, you know, was able to give him some problems. But what about everyone else in the division? So they just get away skate-free, scot-free, you know, without having to ever face Luis Ortiz. Like, Luis Ortiz was Joshua's mandatory. So he just gets to fight Klitschko, who was 41, you know, has a completely different style to Luis Ortiz. And that's all good. You know, but Luis Ortiz fought Wilder and lost, and then some of the fans talking about Wilder got to fight him again. Nope. You know, I'm pushing for Luis Ortiz to get an opportunity with one of these other guys, and then if he fights Wilder in a rematch later down the line, then I'm good with that. Let me know what you guys think. Luis Ortiz says he has zero respect for AJ. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.